All right, so outside of the trade market, let's look at a few big names that'll be out there as Mets targets. So, JJ, we're going to start with you. Framber Valdez, as a Mets target, yay or nay?
I'm going nay here, Michelle. And this is a guy who gave the Yankees fits for years as a member of the Houston Astros. I'm just a little concerned about the diminished returns over the last year and a half. The injuries have started to pile up. And I wonder if you've seen the very best of Framber Valdez, where you look at Joe Ryan, I think he's still an ascending pitcher and a guy who can take it to another level. I kind of get the sense you'd be paying for past performance with Valdez. It doesn't mean he can't be effective. He just would not be number one, number two, or number three from that matter on my list.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think I would go yay, though, depending on what else you could or couldn't do, because I think you mentioned Ryan. Valdez is another guy who knows how to pitch, relies on the curveball and the breaking stuff a lot, gets a lot of ground balls. I think there's still some left arm there to go, as long as he's not trying to kill his catcher like he did with the Astros at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. Like, I wouldn't want to sign someone
Mets could use a little edge.
It's alleged, okay?
Alleged.
Alleged. Dylan Cease, yay or nay?
I'm going nay there, Michelle. He's too inconsistent for me, JJ. He's up and down. He's had a couple really good years. Last year, he actually ERA plus was below average, and the walks were high. The strikeouts were still good, but gave up too many hits. He's just a guy that he's way too inconsistent for me, and he gives up a lot of home runs. I wouldn't take the chance on him.
Yeah, it's a hardcore nay. I want absolutely no part of Dylan Cease. He walks the ballpark, which is incredibly infuriating, and he's a name that you've heard so much as far as the rumor mill is concerned over the last couple of years. First with the Chicago White Sox, then you heard it again last year with the San Diego Padres, and kind of seems like a pitcher who's never going to live up to the sort of potential and sort of tantalizing ability that he has. Because he has nasty, nasty stuff when he's on, way too up and down, way too erratic. I'm not looking at him as somebody who's going to go and lead my rotation. You're rolling the dice on Cease.
Yeah. But do you know what he brings that the Mets didn't have last season? He has started at least 32 games in all of the last 5 seasons. The Mets need someone like that. JJ, Alex Bregman, yay or nay?
So it's a yay as long as it's not at the expense of one Pete Alonso. Look, Alex Bregman is a fantastic, fantastic player. This guy's a gamer. He's played on winning teams his entire life. He plays really good defense over at third base. Now, I would be a little concerned about how his power would play at Citi Field because, remember, this is a guy who has taken advantage of the Crawford boxes out in Houston for years, then was a match made in heaven with the Red Sox. And to me, if I'm Alex Bregman, now money talks, and if the Mets have the highest offer, the Detroit Tigers have the highest offer, that's where you're going to go and play baseball. I felt like he was such a good fit in Boston. I don't know why there wouldn't be a reunion
trying to squeeze a little more money out of him.
Well, and listen, I totally get it. It's a business. But if I'm the Mets, I like Bregman. It's a yay, but not at the expense of Alonso.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between, but probably nay, although I like the moxie. Again, I think the Mets could use a little of that. But, I mean, if you tell me you're pairing him with somebody like Schwarber and bringing him in, then that's another story. But just by himself, I don't think the ballpark is the right fit for him, as you said.
Okay, Harp, what do you think of Kyle Schwarber, yay or nay?
I will go yay. I'm all in on him, Michelle. Listen, I mean, if you put him if you bring him instead of Alonso, you make him the DH. Now you can go get a better glove at first base. So that would maybe fit the run prevention that David Stearns talked about. And he's going to hit 56 home runs. I mean, he's a big-time power guy. We know that. But he would make the Mets lineup very left-handed. And then they need to find another right-handed bat. Maybe that's where Bregman would fit. But I don't think the Phillies. There's no way they're letting him leave. But it'd be a great fit, I think, for the Mets.
I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm such a huge Kyle Schwarber fan. This is a nay. The Mets, after the season, went nuts, and David Stearns went nuts about the narrative of run prevention. Run prevention and Kyle Schwarber in the same sentence. Now, you mentioned...
but then you get Alonso, maybe you get him off first base.
If Pete Alonso is gone, Kyle Schwarber makes a lot more sense. But if you're telling me that Pete Alonso is going to be back on this
he's
team,
got to be part-time DH.
Then the idea of Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber, you're going to need that DH spot freed up.
Yeah. Only 2 players besides Alonso have hit more home runs since 2019, Aaron Judge and Kyle Schwarber.